Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As the past Fish just mentioned there, it's going to go down to game number 3 here between Legacy and Sin, the third and final match to decide this series. But most importantly, Spawn, before we get into this game, the most important question to ask is, what summoner spell would you like in this game?
I think that Ohmwrecker should become a summoner spell.
Okay.
I think that you should be able to shut off turrets. I think that that would be a very interesting summoner spell, because at the moment we have all these tanks and stuff running around, and turret dives are pretty interesting, but when we were in a carry meta, we didn't see very many turret dives. So I think that if your support can take a summoner spell that is just like, this turret no longer hits anymore, that'll be pretty cool.
I actually think the complete opposite. Bring back Fortify. That spell was great.
Well, have
Loved
it on the same thing, right? You have to pick a turret, then you can either buff or you can turn it off.
Or just buy Ohmwrecker, which is a great
Useless item. Do not build Ohmwrecker. I'm not a fan of Ohmwrecker. I also am not a fan of people that talk to themselves, Fish. I've just got to throw that one out. Even if you are talking to your past self, it's a little bit weird and egotistical, but, you know, we'll see how it works out as the game goes on.
I know what you're talking about, Jake Spontaneous. But we're getting into this game. This time round will be Legacy that are on red side. This is how they won game number 1.
I'm also a big fan of Kled's Charge. I don't know if you could tell in that replay. I think it is the best spell in the game.
Really? Just because of
entertainment-wise. Okay. He just starts rolling down a lane. People start sprinting behind him.
I mean, you don't like Syndra's ultimate? That seems like the most entertaining spell in the game.
Syndra's ultimate?
Yeah. That's really difficult to execute. And fun to watch.
It is not.
People getting deleted.
Read out the bans.
Jarvan, Braum, and Nah to get banned out by Sin here. So already adapting in their draft phase with Jace, as well as Thresh and Taliyah banned out. They first picked Rakan this time.
That makes sense, because Kalista Rakan and Xayah Rakan both revolve around their Rakan. Both Elise and Maokai are available, so unless Legacy wants to first pick both of them, then Juves is still going to get a jungler. Gragas is also still on the table right now.
I mean, you'd have to go Maokai Kalista here, wouldn't you?
I don't know about that. I think I would go Maokai Gragas.
And then they can flex it between Tally and Carmen, however they want to play that matchup. Let's see. Sin2 like their Gragas picks, and taking it away here would be a smart move, and Juves had a phenomenal game.
He's just much better as a jungler when he's on Gragas. I would make him play Elise, and then they're probably going to take Elise Xayah or Elise... Oh, they take the Xayah. So there you go.
So Xayah locked in for Legacy. Now we should see Sin still default back to the Kalista and get Gragas as well.
I mean, they don't need, they do kind of have to pick Kalista here if they want it. Tristana is still available, however, Twitch, Cockmore, everything else, Jinx. There's so many 80 carries up.
And this is strange. I'm really curious to see what Soulstrikes is trying to do with this draft phase. Because I thought it was going to be Kalista, you thought it was going to be Gragas, and neither champion gets taken away. And they should pick up their support here. Would not be surprised if they go back to Janna again.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. Lulu, Janna, kind of the two big Ardent Sensor users. Taric is not either of those.
But we'll get locked in here for Legacy.
Interesting.
One of Cupcake's niche picks.
I like it, because as soon as Rogue flies into the backline, you just put the sunglasses down. And then hopefully someone survives. That's kind of the game plan. Put it on whoever he's about to nail with that ultimate, and just, you know, a couple of seconds of invulnerability, Fish.
Another adaptation in the draft phase here. Fiora has been banned by Legacy. So
yeah, I reckon Jace is going to be next, by the way.
Karma's the ban from Sin, denying Claire that pick.
I would 100% like to see a Jace ban. It's already banned. So I've already, no worries. There we go. I don't know what I want to see banned now, because all I was thinking about is Jace, so they can let this one slide through. Cassiopeia, if they want to play Galio again, would be a smart ban, because that certainly was a difficult lane.
Renekton instead is the final ban from Legacy. Again, targeting Dopla's champion pool quite heavily. That's 3 bans towards the man.
Certainly is. I mean, when he first came to the OPL, if you had said in 9 weeks' time, you will be banning 3 champions against Dopla pretty much every game, I would have called you crazy, Fish.
I mean, people were banning his Jace to start because that's what he was famous for. A couple of Fiora bans here.
Lucian mid.
Ooh, that gets
or
banned out by
potentially Lucian top. Tally plays it.
True.
What was he playing it into?
I have no idea, but
Kennen?
I never want to see it ever again. Probably Kennen. I'm pretty sure he played it into Kennen.
Yep.
Didn't work out too well for Legacy.
No, it worked out well for the top lane. They just lost the game.
And we never saw Tally play it ever again. But instead, they'll pick up their jungler here. Sejuani is locked in for Carbon. Makes sense with 3 melee champions in their lineup already. Now, Sin have to show their hand. What is their top laner or jungler going to be? Because the mid lane is Syndra.
Of course, Wukong was played week 6, I believe, by Ivan.
And Trundle gets locked in for Dokla on the top side of the map. We saw Trundle last night in the LPL played in the top lane.
We saw one last week as well, domestically.
And that was into a Cho'Gath, which has escaped every single pick and ban here. Corki is going to make a return into the league as Claire picks up his mid lane champion of choice into the Syndra. Has a decent matchup.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, I think if you take Exhaust, you actually beat Cinderfish.
Oh, not again.
However,
everyone takes Teleport Swan.
Yeah, they do. But this is the only matchup that I am a big proponent of the Exhaust.
Okay.
Because as soon as she uses Q, you can just Valk on her. She can shove you away, but generally can't get the stun. And then obviously you just exhaust the ultimate. However, Cleanse being picked up by Ryoma probably gets rid of that exhaust and means that Corki dies. So Teleport will be the summoner spell of choice.
And I think this is the exact matchup we saw from the LPL as well. It was a Syndra into a Corki with a Sejuani jungle. And they picked up the Cleanse, I believe, to go up against Sejuani to stop that initiation.
You just don't want to get an ult chucked at your head. Pretty much, you're very low mobility as a Syndra. One piece of CC out of this composition, you know, be it a Flash Maokai W, be it the ultimate flying out from Carbon, will certainly spell your death. So you don't want to have that.
And it seems like it's a much better draft coming out from Legacy here. Very team fight oriented.
Yep.
Good laning phase.
2 carries, 3 tanks. Everyone get in there. Dokla is going to be on a split pusher, but you know, unless you get to 2.5, 3 items on Trundle, generally can't run away with the game.
That's the champion we thought we'd see come back into the meta
I
a little
didn't
bit
think
more.
we would.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't think we see Trundle?
I don't like Trundle.
Okay. Why is that?
Because generally Trundle's great against 1 tank. Right now there's 3 tanks. That's why I don't like it. I'm being serious. He was great when it was, you know, Lee Sin jungle, Karma support, and then like Maokai top lane. Sure, Trundle then becomes the best character in the game because all of a sudden you just ult the Maokai and run at the squishies on the back line and no one can kill you. However, with 3 tanks, Dokla is probably going to just have to split push all game. He's not going to be able to team fight, and I think that's a pretty linear playstyle.
Well, let's see what Cinder's starting to do, because last time we saw Dokla pick up the Trundle, he was a split-pushing machine. He never left the side lanes, never grouped up to fight, and built purely to go up against a tank in a one-on-one matchup. We are on to Summoner's Rift for the 3rd and final game.
But the problem with that fish is if Claire ever gets accelerated and he builds for the one-on-one, Claire will box his ears.
Not going to be fun.
It is certainly not going to be fun for Dokla.
Yep. Trundle does well into melee tanks, even a couple of melee carry matchups, but not so much into any form of range.
So the reason he does well into the melee matchups is because his Q takes away some of their AD. And people sometimes miss how much trading pattern, especially from people like Maokai Gragas, actually comes through the cheeky auto attacks you get by people at Last City. And Trundle just takes all of that away. It's a slow, it reduces your AD, it's an auto attack reset. It's also a really funny animation. Like, it generally does everything.
And he kind of made his first few appearances competitively when old Yorick was released in League of Legends, because he used to counter that thanks to his passive.
Whenever the ghouls died, he would get some of the health back.
Yeah, so Yorick was an oppressive top laner who could never press his abilities because Trundle loved it. But let's see how he does into the Maokai here.
I still think Yorick is pretty good. I wish Yorick would come back.
I hate playing against Yorick.
I think he's good at the moment.
I think he's a good champion. I see him a lot in solo queue, but look at this already. Initial burst coming out from Legacy as well. Sin, just training back and forth. But yeah, we haven't seen Yorick competitively, I think.
We haven't, which is a shame, because he's cool.
It's
Maiden of the Rift is like, one of the most annoying ultimates in the game.
Which is strange, because with objectives like Rift Herald being picked up quite frequently, with heavy emphasis on turrets.
Here we go.
Thought we'd see him more. Dokka.
2 cancelled autos.
No.
You just hate to see it, Fit. Oh, Telly started E. That's why he's getting bullied out so much. Generally, you see Q being picked up. Obviously, wanted to give a better leash towards Carbon. Probably stacked up some little trees in the side lane. So that explains why he's getting absolutely punished.
Could have been a much better trade for Dokla, but with those cancels, he doesn't get neither the attack and chomp reset nor the Grasp of the Undying proc.
So this is really interesting because, yeah, I was going to say the way that Sejuani clears, for those that don't know, is she procs her passive, gets the big stun down onto the creep, and then the next auto attack does a lot of percentage health damage. However, she does fall pretty low, as you're seeing right now, and Carbon has been warded out, so they know exactly where he is. they can potentially now look to attack his Raptor camp. So he turns around and gets a ward down. That's nice jumping out of Carbon. However, Juice is still here.
Carbon doesn't have his passive, which Sejuani relies on really heavily early. Jumps in, just takes away all the camps, and Carbon wants to turn around.
Juice is in a little bit of trouble, however. Will just get escorted out of the jungle because Rogue was cheating up and mid lane's being pushed in.
That's a big confidence play out of Juice, stepping straight into his jungle. Reimer gets a good trade against Claire as well.
Actually has gone for the move quick, Storm Raider Surge. Will bump into Carbon here, spots him out. Carbon's going for the Rift Scuttle. So they know that he's top side of the map, and you can see the bottom lane with that information of where he's been for the last couple of seconds. He's just playing incredibly fast forward.
Sejuani trying to make an impact top side of the map here, standing on top of a blast cone, jumps over, spotted out by a ward. Trundle immediately puts down the frozen domain and says, okay, I'll just wander away. But big double stun by Cupcake. Rogue goes in for the knock up, takes a turret shot. But Sin's bottom lane still pushing in aggressively against Legacy. No mana for Taric.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You can see the big problem right now is that Cupcake is Oom. He will get a couple of blue coins. Wonder if he's running Meditation or if he doesn't actually have that tree. You would have to think that he's running Meditation, Fish, and that this won't be a problem for long. You can also see it's a barrier heal lane out of Lost and Cupcake, which is maybe why they're not playing as aggressively. Double negative summoner spells. Juves is top lane.
Tally has been caught out. Flash body bot as well as the red buff means Tally is going nowhere. Does try to keep himself alive for a while longer, but first blood is picked up by Juves, and Carbon wants a piece of this action. You're not going to get anything against this Gragas.
Yeah, you certainly aren't, and that's a frozen wave as well. So great job there for Juice to be able to get in and impact that top lane. Lane gank with Trundle is a little bit easier just because the pillar is such a big slow at this stage of the game. And this is a win condition. We already mentioned it, that he's going to be a better split pusher. Stun.
Big damage. They will get the knock up, and Ignite has been burnt onto Lost. He's going to back out here.
That was a strange Ignite. I think it was like a deterrent Ignite. Like if you keep chasing us, you will eventually die. Heal was also used out of FBI, so 2 summoner spells used for none.
Sin should be fairly happy with where the lane is at the moment. And they jump on top of Cupcake here. FBI will chuck a couple of spears into him. Stun doesn't connect. He's taking so much damage. He might fall here.
Nah, he's fine.
They get ripped out. He's slowed down.
He's got heal.
But he's fine. Yeah.
He's absolutely fine.
It's strange to see this heal barrier lane coming into
out of a non-hyper carry. Yeah, that's I was expecting to see it a lot with things like Twitch, Jinx, Kog'Maw, things like that, as they were starting to become a little bit more popular. But yeah, with Azaya, I completely agree. It's a little bit bizarre.
Tally again, taking
oh, that's the ultimate.
damage.
No, it's not the ultimate. I thought that was the ultimate, but nope.
Darklord just presses all his abilities except for the ultimate and smacks Tally, who promptly shoves him away. Doing okay in this lane so far as the Maokai, but slowly this will turn in Trundle's favor. Already picked up a Cull, and he's going straight for aggressive items. You expect Ravenous Hydra to be first from Darklord. Once he gets that, Tally can't do anything anymore.
Yeah, is it going to be Ravenous Hydra? I would expect him to go towards Tiamat like Trinity Force, to be honest.
Okay.
If he's going to continue to split push. If he wants to ever teamfight, I think he should actually go Titanic Hydra. I'm not a fan of Ravenous Hydra. I think he has enough sustain out of his passive. But we'll see where he chooses to go.
Just makes him so impressive. No one can fight him anymore.
Yeah, not in a 1v1 Fish, but this game is a team fighting game.
Oh, they're going to try and catch out Rogue here. Stun does connect, but they don't follow through with anything else.
Yeah, Carbon used so much mana there, and actually hasn't been able to pick himself up a Hunter's Potion, so that will be punishing as the game progresses. Stun just misses onto Claire, and Juves is walking very aggressively towards his mid lane. He just has not a care in the world.
Juves had a great game too, and he's looking to try and snowball that momentum into game number 3.
Yeah, game number 1, he was 2 levels behind at this stage.
Yeah.
This time around, does not look like it's going to be an issue at all.
Top side, Tally's doing okay in this matchup at the moment. Again, it's a time-based thing, and Dokla, when he wants to turn on the pain, he can. Pops his subjugate there, so Tally has to be careful. No flash available, does lock him down with the ultimate. Dokla smacks him down, clubs him to death, and this man has definitely improved across multiple weeks.
Yeah, he certainly has. I mean, that was just really disrespectful out of Tally. You should just be able to use the Q, keep him at max distance, and continue to slow him down. You should never be walking up for auto attack trades against Trundle. That's exactly what he did, and now a big creep wave going to be in Dokla's advantage. And Tally, unfortunately, is He's going to be okay in team fights, but there is no way he is going to be able to get close to Trundle in a one-on-one.
And it's the perfect situation for Sin. Juves is ahead. Dokla doing fine top side of the map. Ryoma as well as the FBI doing fine in their respective lanes. In fact, FBI is about 20 CS up over Lost. He will claim a lot back through this wave. But that's a 400, 300 goldish lead for both mid lane and AD carry.
Yep. So they're absolutely fine at the moment. You can see 1,400 gold lead for the Sin Gaming lineup. They've got the 2 kills. They're feeling good. However, level 6 has been achieved for Lost, so they have to have a little bit of respect, Fish.
FBI's got his level 6 mark as well, so Rogue can play a bit more aggressively.
Yeah, but it's the difference between a utility spell and a damage spell coming out. Not that there isn't a lot of utility still on Xayah's ultimate, but at this stage, until Rogue has that big charm and the quickness to be able to, get in amongst it and tie up both members, they should just continue to farm this one out.
It's also a BF sword picked up by Lost to the Vamp Scepter only by FBI. Claire does have the package. He was forced to go Hex Drinker first on his Corki, which is expected against Syndra.
100% expected against Syndra, so shouldn't really be all that much of a deterrent. Going to help him live through that burst without having the exhaust available. And you can see Dokla is ignoring him right now.
He doesn't care. He's got his Tiamat. He's looking to pick up another item through the longsword. That should be a Vamp Scepter, I think.
Killed him again.
Ooh. I would have gone.
Yeah, he'd use the ulti. I mean, he should be able to go right now. Tally has to run away. You can see already the fact that Syndra is cheating up. This might actually be first turret falling down, Fish.
Yep, Tally's going to try and back away. Ryoma wants it. He spots him. He wasn't completely in the brush. Popped the ultimate. Oh, doesn't get it. Flashes for it. The fade away for the mid laner of Sin. Claire will come out. No package available. And this should be first turret falling to Sin as well.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, there's no way that you live through that if you're Tally. He burnt the summoner spell, and Ryoma was willing to go after him. Now, Juve's in this bottom lane.
FBI takes a lot of damage. Rogue comes in. The sunglasses being put on by Cupcake to keep everyone invulnerable. But FBI simply pulls Rogue back out through the ultimate, and Claire forced to burn teleport and Valk away.
Yeah, exactly right. Now you're going to head back towards that middle lane where there is a big wave. You can see that Carbon wants to get something done bottom. And that's the interaction we were talking about, Fish. As soon as Rogue wants to go aggressive, you can expect the sunglasses or the Taric ultimate to be there.
And now every part of the map is doing so well for Sin. 3,000 gold up. They've got first blood, first turret. Legacy are trying to pick up a single objective for themselves in this Mountain Dragon. That should fall down uncontested. Sin shouldn't be too worried about that. It will be the Ravus Hydra first picked up by Dokla.
It will be.
And he's looking to just split push this entire game from that.
And I mean, at the moment, that's probably a good choice. I thought in a 50-50 lane matchup, he was going to have to be a little bit more careful. However, he's already 30-40 CS up, as well as the solo turret Goldfish. He's just an absolute monster, so he shouldn't be worried about anything. Tally's trying to take the Krugs away, but he's not even going to get that. Dokla's going to steal him off him.
Wins that game of chicken there. And Trundle did get a few patches ago, I'd say, he got his bite reintroduced on turrets.
Yep.
So he takes down turrets incredibly quick. That was removed thanks to the lane swap meta. So now it's irrelevant since that doesn't exist anymore. And he chunked through that last turret. The next one will be easy, and Tally has to be very respectful. He's 2 levels behind, and as a tank, falling behind is the worst feeling in the game.
So if Legacy lose this game, and the Chiefs win 1 or 2 games tomorrow, Legacy will finish 4th off the back end of it, I believe.
Ultimate's used, no one dies there, and if you're Legacy, that would be brutal, because you would finish the season, I believe, 8-2. One of the best records.
Actually, they might finish 3rd. Sin might be 4th if they win this game. So, but still not the season that you want. As you said, 8-2.
Yep.
Yeah, certainly not the good news story that Legacy wanted.
I mean, you get some confidence in saying that you did win more best of series and you dropped a couple of games here and there, but it's a different story when you go into a best of 5 gauntlet format. Yep. Starting from 4th place, it's not easy to make it all the way into the grand finals, as Sin proved last split.
Yeah, completely agree. There's just so many games that you have to run through. You have to show so many different compositions, and your team really shows nothing against it. That's Trundle's passive right there, Fish.
That's silly.
What was it? Nearly half his health back from taking down the Rift Herald solo.
You should watch it when Baron dies.
Yep, it's very funny when Baron dies. I agree with you. At the same time, the Chiefs still have to be able to win. If the Chiefs lose both their games tomorrow against Direwolves, they will be on less points than Legacy. so Legacy will go above them. That 1 win guaranteed that. So there's still ways for Legacy to finish second. They just need to make sure that things now fall in their favor. They're the masters of their own destiny. I don't think they can overtake the Direwolves now.
It's also a, yeah, it's a big thing for the Direwolves. If Legacy lose, Direwolves literally need to pick up a single map to take first in the OPL. The Chiefs can do whatever they like, but Legacy lose here, just 1 map for the Direwolves and straight into the grand finals.
And the Chiefs versus Direwolves game tomorrow is going to be so exciting. I don't know. Oh, a little bit of aggression here, Tiff.
Does get the root down, but no trade.
I don't know if you've watched the video yet, but change of guard theme has been everywhere this year.
Change of guard?
You know, we'll talk about it in a second.
There's a fight going on down here. Claire's actually fairly low. Got to be careful. Rhymer just going to bop him. If Juice gets that kill, Karma now wants to run away, looking for the slowdown. Still chasing further forward. Darksphere comes out, flash away. Karma will make his way out, and Rift Herald has been popped mid lane.
Yeah, exactly right. And all of a sudden now they're going to look to make the big play, although Teleport being burnt bottom.
FBI trying to get away from these feathers, disengages successfully, but Tally is there first. Throws out the ultimate. The little kitty cats don't get there in time. Good pillar thrown out by Dokla. Will stop Legacy from backing out here. Just buys time. Sinner already on the second turret mid lane.
Exactly right. And they've got Rift Herald still, which is going to continue to push up. So they can even look for one last charge if they would like. Instead, they're just going to jump into the jungle, take away all the Carbon's chickens. And you can see that there is no answer right now out of Legacy. They are 6,000 gold down, and Sinner just punishing them around Summoner's Rift. What I was talking about change of guard is Chiefs had won every OPL title until last split. Of course, then Direwolves were able to pick up their first. If Direwolves beat the Chiefs tomorrow, you would have to think that the Direwolves are going to claim that spot as, you know, best team in Oceania.
I mean, a lot
and most likely to go to Worlds. If Chiefs win it, however, and they come first, especially if they 2-0 fish, I think it just throws everything up in the air.
Yep. I mean, a lot of people have been very vocal about the fact that, yes, Chiefs came fourth last split, but they expect this split to really show if the Chiefs have fallen off or not.
Yeah, it was important the fact that, you know, Jish went away last split, went over to North America. Chiefs certainly looked unsettled, a little bit rattled when it came to the best of 5, which we haven't seen in the past. And obviously teams were closing that gap. Like Sin Gaming, who at the moment are proving that they're a legitimate contender. I mean, say what you will about them. You know, people were saying they were sloppy, that Dokla wasn't good enough. Right now, they seem to have just fixed all their problems. And they're up, like, when this cull cashes in, they're going to be up 7,000 gold at 15 minutes.
And it has been cashed in. Big lead for Sin at the moment. Smashing in the top lane. That's
2,500 gold.
Ooh. My goodness. Not great. Tally is not having a good time. Big lead in the jungle as well. 1,600 in favor of Jews, even mid lane. Rhymer is so far ahead. Tally's going to be careful. Dokla can pretty much turret dive him. Every minion he kills gives him back 100 health.
Yep. You can see that Tally, I mean, he gets a little bit of health back, and now they'll go in.
And here comes Claire. Dokla just pops down the first domain and says, you want to fight me? We can fight. I will
Didn't even
dance.
use the ultimate. I mean, that's how confident he is right now. Didn't overcommit. Instead, he's just pressuring the turret. You can see on the way pings are going down bottom.
Syndra's on her way as well, so let's see how long this fight goes for. Big body bop, but the ultimate does miss. Now Cupcake turns on the invulnerability just for loss. They take down FBI to kick
Here we
things
go.
off. Ju's now trying to back out. Claire was already down here. Rhymer looking to scatter the weak, gets the double stun. Body bop from Ju's. They will take down Cupcake. Good initiation from Rogue, but it's not going to be enough. He falls for that as well, and Sin will lose 2 for 1.
Yeah, 2 for 1 is absolutely massive right now for Legacy because it looked like it was not going to go their favor with Ryoma heading down. That also might be a turret, and you know, potentially even a dragon can be picked up here, although that might be an overreach.
And Dokla decides not to stay top lane, instead rotates mid lane while Tally went back to base, so he doesn't get damaged on top lane in either.
Yeah, exactly right. So absolutely nothing really accomplished there for Sin, even though Legacy take that fight. Off the bounced waves, they can potentially look for something else, and Ryoma sticks around to ensure that the farm doesn't go to waste bottom fish. But potentially, that was the moment that Legacy needed. You can see now Lost as well as Cupcake a little bit further ahead. We've already mentioned this, but with Barrier as well as Heal, they're going to be very safe in these team fights.
Sin now turn their attention towards the Infernal Dragon. It's just FBI as well as Rogue that have hit this so far.
Yeah, and they've been spotted out. Corki can rotate across, as well as the fact that Taric is there. but with Carbon as well as Lost still in base. I don't know. Oh, actually, Cupcake, one-man army,
Good
just
chunk of
chases them off.
Yeah, good chunk of spears from FBI, but Legacy do deter them from taking the Infernal Dragon. Douglas has reset himself
Hasn't
top
got
side of the
teleport,
map.
though. And
No
there's 5
teleport.
members around this objective for Legacy, so they should be able to pick this one up, Fish.
It is coming up soon, though, so let's see if it's enough time for Sin. They're trying to go in. Juice wants to be on the front lines. 5 members strong for Legacy. Will be able to take Infernal Dragon for themselves.
I think that's a mistake. I think that they definitely should have been able to fight that one. 5,000 gold up. Sure, Dokla might look to get themselves the top lane turret here, but he's already winning the split push, and the map will eventually get smaller. So we'll see exactly how it works out.
Yeah, that's gone.
Chomps it.
One melee minion has died, and this turret is already below half health. Dokla will be able to destroy this turret before Tally can get up there. So Infernal Dragon for an in the turret.
So Dokla gets stronger. He's 60 CS up. Tally is getting absolutely manhandled. It's 3,000 gold. But at the same time, you can see that Lost is actually stronger than FBI right now.
Confident man as well. He's going straight for his Trinity Force, not even opting for defense. But this could be a Frozen Fist, but
it's not. He's already got
another longsword, so that should be a Phage coming up next.
And he's behind Tally.
Goodbye, Tally. It
Tally's
was
gonna
nice
have to
knowing
run.
you. Oh, what? He doesn't take it.
Merciful. You can see that instead he's just got priority over this wave. Now Claire's being caught out by Aroma, and Gragas is also there.
Ooh, Juves knocks him straight back into himself, but the good flash from Claire gets him to safety.
But look at top lane. I mean, who can actually stop Dokla right now?
Get in there, Dokla.
You would think with the map getting smaller, they should be able to respond to this. However, that's half the health of the turret, and he's still just sticking around.
He doesn't care. The rest of the team is rotating up. Sin want this turret. It's already so low. One more mistake to Tally, and that's going to fall. Package has been picked up by Claire, but with all these distractions, that's a free bot lane turret for Sin.
Yeah, it certainly could be Fish. Teleport is available out of Tally, so they don't overcommit for it. I think that's a good call. They're winning top side of the map so hard. All you do now is you put Dokla bottom. He has TP available, set up around your Baron objective, and they should be able to pick up another 2 turrets for relatively little cost.
So there we go. Dokla has been rotated down towards bottom side of the map. His job is done. Big pressure created top side map, and Tally has been set incredibly far behind. Curious to see if Legacy can exploit the fact that Dokla has gone for double damage item.
Yeah, I think that they just have to start Baron or something like that. I don't know if there's anything else that Legacy can really do right now. Potentially look for a package and Sejuani ult mid lane.
Oh, here he goes. Claire on top of Ryoma. Ultimate being used very early by Cupcake, but it will be the mid laner that falls first. Rogue dashes out.
Ooh.
Ultimate thrown out, clips him. Rogue will be pulled back by Fate's Core, keeps himself alive a little bit longer. Thrown back out the right way to disengage. Legacy get a pick, knock the support away, and now they're charging for more turrets.
Yeah, they certainly are, but this is the race. It is going to be the Trundle versus the 4-man unit because Legacy did exactly the right thing. They pulled the trigger and they made sure they went for it. However, with that red buff, Dokla is just regenerating so quickly, Fish.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's all that much Tally can do to stop this from going down. You can see the collapse will come out. He'll have to back away. So it is a 1-for-1 trade, which when you're behind as Legacy is a good thing. But it just doesn't look like it's going to be enough for now.
Go for another pick here. Rogue will dash on out. Loss has collected himself into this mid lane. The rest of Sin just want to reset. They're 6,000 gold ahead. They don't need to make any fancy plays here.
No, they certainly don't. They should let Dokla win this game, to be honest.
He's got Trinity Force.
Yeah, he's got
unstoppable.
Trinity Force. He's got 60 CS up over Tally, who is 0-3-0. I think that this should be the slow, methodical grind out of a 1-4. And the only way Legacy are going to really win is if a mistake is made by the 4-man unit of Sin.
I mean, saving grace for Legacy is they have double teleport. So if Tally and Claire gank Dokla, Sin can't really start. Ooh, a Baron for themselves.
Yep.
That was a respectful flash from Lost.
I mean, yeah, it has to be. Juice has his flash, has ultimate available, and there was no one around Lost. He's in no man's land. So I think that was the right call.
Oh, no.
Hit the
FBI
ward.
hit the ward.
Yeah.
So Legacy know exactly what they're trying to do in the backside of this pit.
But at the same time, Dokla is still top lane. Has taken about half his health, but hasn't burnt the ultimate. Ardent Sensor is picked up. That turret looks very low, Mr. Observer. I can see it on the mini-map.
And he's just going to walk up to this mini-wave, get back to full health.
Yeah. So,
In fact, he goes to Grump. He's like, I'll heal off the frog instead.
Yep. I mean, through the passive, through the Ravenous Hydra, we've already mentioned. But I just want to say it one more time. If it gets to a 5v5 team fight, Dokla is useless. There is so much CC that is going to come out. Sejuani as well as Maokai. And the fact that, you know, he's going to have the Taric ultimate to try and chomp through. I really don't think that Trundle will be as useful as Maokai in these team fights.
Which is strange because he sent Tally a full item behind. So if he didn't pick up Trinity Force, went for tank items instead, they'd be even in terms of how tanky they are. Just that Dokla would do more damage in the split push. But he's gone all in for this split push.
And now potentially they're going to look to catch Juves.
Good body bop, gets him out of trouble there. Dokla now split pushing bottom lane. This is the Baron turret, so it's very difficult for Legacy to defend this. In fact, Tally's thrown out ultimate.
Yeah, he's already been chunked down. The ultimate's come out. He's flashed away.
Dokla just gets on his face, slaps him a few more times. No, he gets around. Tally lives somehow, but Dokla has his eyes set towards this turret. That's going to fall.
Yeah, exactly right. So now all of a sudden, Claire has to TP back, which means they can potentially start up Baron because Tally, I mean, he can TP as well, I guess, but it's still going to be a 5v4. Now Carbon's caught out.
But still big mistakes coming out from Dokla there. Did not kill Tally. That would have been a big advantage for Sin. Cancelled his auto again. And Legacy gets some more breathing room.
Now Legacy must force. We've already seen that Dokla, he's going to go back. He grabs himself a Spectre Cow, so now he's starting to get tanky. If they let him get another item a half, he will be able to team fight because now he's doing the right thing and going towards tank items. Legacy have to be able to force a play here, Fish.
I mean, 4 members of Legacy deal magic damage, so it's a good pickup for Trundle. Just has to worry about Lost.
And he's going to take all the armor away from Tally as well. And you can see they're sending him straight back to that bottom lane, and without the TP on Claire, there's just no way they can attack Dokla.
And this is so respectful from Sin. Coming into split 1, even split 2, we said, you know, Sin ARAM, they're going to run down mid lane, they're going to fight you all the time. Even in Rift Rivals, we saw exactly that against Mineski as well as Ascension. Now they're very disciplined, you know? Okay, Dokla, do your job. We'll only react when we have to.
I think they just have to kill Dokla. I think that the 2 members that are walking down mid lane should actually be walking towards bottom lane. Because I don't know if there's a way that they can stop this Baron with Dokla still split pushing in this lane, Fish.
I only thought they had to throw Claire there and use his teleport, but now that plays out of them. Yeah. That's gone. You can't do that anymore.
Certainly cannot.
They can still create a 4-on-4, but without Corki, that's not enough damage from Legacy.
Yeah, that's potentially what they look to do, is they said,
oh, force onto Juves, maybe. Rogue jumps in, dashes back out, and no stuns come out of Legacy.
And now Dokla's going to hit the turret and take down an inhibitor.
That's gone. Sin get the exact play they were looking for. Legacy may force a Baron here.
They are. They're just going to hit it.
They're going to do just that.
Dokla could just win the game here.
This is the Hail Mary from Legacy. Let's see if it works off. Sin being very patient. They're waiting. They turn on the Tally first.
He missed.
Karma misses the ultimate, but they do lock down Ryoma. Good damage onto the mid lane himself. Rogue disengages. Juves is holding up 4 members of Legacy all by himself. And Dokla is trying his hardest to win this game by himself. Again, deja vu.
Yeah, it certainly is. They're going to be able to take down the AD carry. Now they'll continue the fight.
Let's see if they can continue going, because Dokla onto the second turret. Legacy are trying to base. They've already got Maokai back there, so they trade FBI's life for a Nexus turret and an inhibitor taken down.
Yeah, exactly right. And Dokla now will duck back into the jungle. However, that could be Baron because there's still 20 seconds left on FBI and enough members of Sin alive that they can start up the objective one more time. And with Baron buff, maybe, just maybe, they can hold.
Package for Claire as well, which is big in these tight choke points. Teleport used early by Tally to get to the fight. Dokla's coming in as well, but Legacy do this way too fast. Only 4 members of Sin
Package
here.
on him. I mean, they can look for the fight still. They've got the package as well. Oh, big stun.
Cupcake low, big stun coming out of Ryoma. They're keeping Legacy inside this Baron pit.
They
want to fight. They want the 4-on-5. Karma dies straight away. Cupcake's the next target as well. Big body bomb coming out of Juves once again. Lost is stuck against the Baron pit wall, trying to fight his way out. Claire's on the backside, dealing as much damage as he can, but that's 3 members dead from Legacy.
But he had Baron, Flash. Why didn't he just flash to the wall? Lost was trying to take down another member and trying to play hero for his team. They would have been able to defend with 3 members left available, Fish. But now with only 2, this becomes so hard.
And there you go. Dokla has the item spice. He needs to join team fights. He's ahead of Tally. Juves! What a decisive play! Just piles on top of Claire, and FBI gets another kill!
And that's why they needed their AD carry alive. Now all of a sudden, with 4 members up, they're going to look to take down the second inhibitor. And even though Tally has Baron, This looks very hard.
There's the righteous glory from Cupcake. He wants to jump on top of this low health. 4 members of Sin deters them from taking down the inhibitor, but Legacy's base is absolutely destroyed. 8,000 gold behind Sin.
I mean, the good news story is right now, split pushing isn't really a factor. However, when you can win a 4v5 like this, note that FBI is still in base and just indecisive play. Carbon could have gone, doesn't even really get much out there. Instead, just charges forward to his death. Ryoma putting out massive damage on the back line. And I do want to point out the fact that Lost has Flash available right now and does not go over the wall.
Carbon had full health when he dived in there and died mid-animation through his dash. No resistances picked up for the Sejuani, and he had Doklo's ultimate on top of that as well.
Yep.
That is, he got ripped to shreds.
He certainly did. But now the game will be played in the base of Legacy. And Lost is about to go back, pick up an Infinity Edge. He has the ultimate that is going to come out of Cupcake. I think that this game is still a little bit closer than you would think, Fish, because of the 5v5 prowess that will come out of Legacy's team composition.
Let's see if it's enough, because they are 7,500 gold behind with next to no base turrets left. Doklo still split pushing bottom side of the map.
Yep.
You kind of said this last game, against Baron buff minions, it's difficult. But Doklo should be doing just fine with the sustain he has. He's picked up 2 resistance items of the Warden's Mail as well as Spectre's Cowl.
Yep.
So he's not the tankiest Trundle at the moment, but
he's all right.
He can survive through a couple of attacks.
And you can see that he's just chomping on the mid lane inhibitor every single time he wants it. And this has to be a force out of Legacy. As soon as they walk into the base a little bit too far, they have to be able to force Fish. That is an Infinity Edge picked up right now for Lost, so they have the tools to be able to do it.
Tally has 2.5 items with Boots to complete, so now it's hard for Dokla to split push as effectively. Tally just won't take as much damage, and there's not much for Dokla to take in the base anymore. Yes, this mid inhibitor is nice, but it's difficult.
Yeah, exactly right. And more farm is just going to be fed into the carries of the Legacy lineup.
But top lane's going to die. Inhibitor turret is so low. Juve's going to tank this. Ultimate thrown out by Carbon. That's a whiff.
That's an absolute whiff. And now they have to force mid lane.
So they're on top of Dokla. He pops the ultimate subjugate onto Tally and runs away. Shoved back from Ryoma. Stops Carbon from initiating onto the rest of the Sin lineup. Opens up top lane. They're doing the do-si-do. Running lazy around their own base. Now they're going for the force. Rogue dashes out. Does get stunned by Taric. Carbon following up. That's a lot of spears into the Sejuani. Splits the team. Sunglasses are on. They're going for the fight. Invulnerability is about to wear off. They jump back on top of Dokla.
Lost just isn't hitting anyone.
Is out of mana, but Lost gets good damage to the Carbon. Clay almost dies. The captain for Legacy has fallen, and there's only one Nexus turret left. Juves goes in. He can taste the victory here over Legacy, but they're going to put up their last stand once again. Juves is low, hitting the Nexus, has to back out. Claire shoves him back, shuts down, come out from Lost. Good pillar. Stops Legacy from chasing further forward, but again, they saved the base for a little while longer.
Yeah, the base is in shambles. Only one inhibitor back up, and they want to take that as well, but Lost, he stepped forward. He wants to fight.
Here comes Claire. Dives in with a massive package. Will get one, but dies in return. Wanted to take FBI. Oh, my goodness. Dokla. What a machine. Flushes up top of the carry for Legacy. Gets a kill. 8,000 gold out. They want to end the game. Dokla doesn't care about Tally. He's going to kill Cupcake and go towards the Nexus.
And it's only the tanks remaining. You can see that Dokla is on the Nexus and no one is stopping him.
He's clubbing it. Carbon jumps back in. He wants to stop him from taking it down, but Ryoma just got the double kill. And Sin take down Legacy.
I mean, what a game out of Sin. To be able to fall down so hard in game number 1, pick themselves up. The game 2 performance was clean. And then that game 3 is just gutsy League of Legends off the back end of their top laner. I mean, a liability for the first 3 weeks is the nicest way I could describe him to hard carrying that game.
And again, Sin, they're comfortable in trusting Dokla. That's 3 games they've won from him split pushing. Once on Jax, then Trundle and Trundle again. But despite it not working in game 1, they go straight back to it. Now Legacy fall further behind.
And I don't say this in a, to just throw salt into the wounds, but Carbon in that last fight did not have ultimate. Whiffed it on top lane turret. I mean, Tally had been forced to burn his ultimate on mid lane inhibitor. That is not the decisive Legacy we're used to seeing. They're backwards against the wall, and they just made too many mistakes that game, Fish.
And Sin capitalized. They tore Legacy apart, made it difficult for them to make any sort of decision late game.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, when you're pushing up 3 lanes, when there's only really the top lane base turret available, you only had one inhibitor turret. Sure, it's not easy League of Legends to play. To get yourself into that situation is already bad. But the fact that they weren't able to execute on any of these late game team fights, I mean, that's a worrying trend.
It certainly isn't. Sin, again, looking better and better every single week, solidifying themselves as one of the top 3 teams in the OPL. But for now, to break down that entire series, let's send it back to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And Sin able to take that series 2-1. And a great prediction from you, Jish.
Never doubted them. Definitely in the rehearsal, definitely did not say 2-1 to Legacy, then get bullied into it by Juves to change my prediction to 2-1. I always had faith that Sin were going to pull that out, and I knew that they were going to do it in such classy fashion.
T-Gun, you thought it was going to be a 2-0 to Legacy.
They got off to a good start.
They looked very good in that first game.
Yeah,
very
they
clean.
were gifted 3 Infernal Dragons. They looked all right. Sure.
Yeah. But obviously, Sin being able to fight back very strong in those last 2 games. T-Gun.
Yeah, and I mean, it was really great mental fortitude to stay in. Like, they looked crushed after the first game. We saw it on their player cams. They were just a shell of the former team that they normally are. And then game 2, they come back, pick themselves up, probably Juves with an emotional speech, as we all expect from him. And then game 3, giving the trust to Dokla that I don't think many people would expect. And he just goes off. I've never seen Tally look so useless. That's the only way I can put it. He's generally a pretty consistent, pretty solid player, and he was just a non-factor that game.
Was this the match of just the Dokla split push?
I mean, it came down to it a little bit, and it was something that Bensel mentioned in his interview. He said that heading towards Gauntlet, it's important to show you that you can play multiple styles, and that I said that they were just an early game team, right? But they've shown that they can play split pushes and that they can play team fight too. And he also said that it's important that if people are gonna, he didn't say disrespect, but I'm gonna say if people disrespect Dokla, if Avant call him the worst top laner in the OPL, right? And then don't just ignore him, let him farm into the late game. Then he can be a threat in his own right, and that's something that Sin definitely showed today. Which
meant that Legacy obviously had to respond to that in this 3rd game as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess obviously, it's kind of hard to fault Legacy for picking Maokai because he is such a strong champion, and most people have come to expect that he can be played nearly anywhere. Jungle and top lane, he's both fantastic in, and it just comes. I guess it comes down to how far you can keep him behind. So into this first replay, irrelevant to Maokai really. It's just it's Legacy, I guess. They have to play to avoid Dokla, and so they capitalize on having the teleport to turn the 3v3 into the 4v4. But it doesn't matter that Syndra comes to this fight late. It's essentially already over. FBI is already dead, and then Syndra gets in and gets a trade kill. But he just baits Rogue into dying there too, and it's sort of the style that Legacy have to look to play, and we'll see them do it time and time again. Is that they have to utilize their double TP to make fights in their favor, because Sin's probably never going to call Dokla to a fight, and Legacy can't play on their top side, to look to kill Dokla or something, because he's always just going to outplay 1v2. So I think that it's important that they make those sort of aggressive trades there, and they look to try force the fight elsewhere. But yeah, I guess they didn't do it enough.
All right, well, standing by with Serian right now is the support player for Sin, Rogue. So let's throw it to them for the interview.
Thanks, guys. I'm standing here with Rogue. Congratulations on today's win. It was obviously a really important match for you all, since there was a chance you could still get 2nd place on the leaderboard. What were the team's expectations and mentality heading into this match?
I mean, we really had to 2-0 this series, and we saw ourselves as a lot better than Legacy. I feel it should have been 2-0. I think it was I was the deciding factor this series. In game 1, I decided to int, so we lost. Everyone else on the team did their part all the time. But then, I just come along, and I'm guys, we're going to win this game, and we're going to lose this game. And, so I inted a bit, which is fine. But then they carried me the rest, and I did good. So, I mean, we should have beat them. But I guess that's just my fault the first game.
Yeah, well, game 1 was pretty rough for you. What were the team comms like in a game that was pear-shaped and went downhill?
Well, one thing our team is we're really offline players. In scrims, we're actually just horrible. We have a really bad, really bad week of scrims or something, and then we come on stage and we're just the best team. It's just I don't understand it. But there's one thing with people on our team who don't have the best mentalities. You get on stage, and the ones that usually shut down and stop talking are the one that pick up comms. Like this, like this guy. He really picks up comms. Like I'm usually the one that never tilts, and like I'm there and I'm like, oh shit, I'm minting, and then like Juice comes along. He's like, come on boys, what can we do? It's like, there's something he never does in scrims. So
Well,
he really stepped up.
This win is a franchise record 7 regular split win for Sin. And with that in mind, do you think there's a chance we're going to get another Cinderella story and that we might see you in the grand finals of the Gauntlet?
All right, look. So it's all on the Wolves now, right? If they win, we go up a spot. And not gonna lie, Chippies was on Sin, and he's sleeper agent. He's gonna set us up. The old alliances never die. But last split, I guess it was just big. It's just a big publicity stunt, right? We just like sandbag, throw some games, start off at the bottom of the gauntlet, and it's like this massive publicity stunt where like the Cinderella story. So like that's how
It's
you
all
get
for the
fans. It
story.
worked last split, so it's gonna work this split, right? So like if we start at the bottom, I really don't care.
Well,
I'll take it.
Congratulations on today's win, Rogue, and thanks for talking to us
Thank you.
today.
Thanks very much, Sarianne and Rogue. Do you have any feelings on the Chippy sleeper agent theory that he's espousing there, Jesh?
I feel like actually I have to be very careful here because I feel like if you're gonna say sleeper agents, the ex-Direwolf player, going into the series tomorrow, I don't want to say there's sleeper agents on the table. Who gives that guy a microphone? I feel like he doesn't stop speaking. Sarian's like trying to get the second question. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna be talking for ages and ages and ages and ages. And, I'm glad he had like a good series after his int and he played well, picked it up a little bit, and his team played really well.
Yeah, he seems pretty G'd right there. I mean, he was saying he didn't care where he started from, but I mean, he's got to be excited. He said he wants Direwolves to win, so surely he's aiming.
I mean,
Fingers
yeah.
crossed for that second spot.
Good luck, buddy.
All right, let's talk more about this game then, this third game. And we've already talked a bit about the Trundle split push, but I cut you off before you got to talk about it, Tegan. And I want to ask you about it because you're actually a support player. So, and that's a place we've seen Trundle before in the support role, but this time it was top.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of it is you can early pick it and you can flex it. Obviously, for Sin, it was a response. And going back to the draft a little bit, maybe you do blame Legacy, but you see here, Trundle's able to just throw Legacy into a spiral of defeat. He's going to take the Nexus here, so Legacy have to try Baron. And then, instead of committing to the Baron, they find that they can turn. They think they can turn, at least. And Sin do the right thing. They peel back very disciplined play from them, something we don't come to expect from them. And just stall out while Dokka's just hitting along at the base. Sin can't keep them there forever. As you can see, some Legacy players do get away. But that just sets the tone for the rest of the game. It felt like from the beginning of the game, they were on a clock with Trundle. Trundle's going to end up just taking away the base that the radio was going. And that was the clock just striking midnight. The game was going to end pretty much instantly if they didn't have a response. And their response was to try Baron, not really finish it, try to fight, not really win the fight. And it felt like they just didn't have an answer to it.
Yeah, Sin just put them in this really, really awkward position where, as I said, in game 2, in the analysis, is that they're actually not in range of being engaged on. They sort of just they sit there and they throw out their long range skill shots and they like sort of flirt with the danger and try get engaged on, just to buy time for that Dokka split push. Because once like that bottom lane inhibitor goes down, I feel like the clock is like really, really I guess like the timer is almost out, right? Like if you lose that inhibitor, then it becomes much easier for Sin themselves to take the Baron, and that's why we just see Legacy go back for another attempt and like what I'm going to call pretty much a desperation Baron. Like at this point, they've lost the bottom lane inhibitor. They're looking to have any chance at winning. They need this Baron and then to get out and try to be able to team fight. And they do get the Baron, but it's sort of it's a little bit too late. And I think that they botched their engage a little bit. Taric hasn't altered. Sejuani doesn't actually get like a good combo off. They split really hard over the wall of Baron here, and Spawn mentioned on cast that Lost can flash out here, but I think at this point already it's like too little too late. After that, Sin just walk up mid lane, they collect their second inhibitor, and at that point, like, losing 2 inhibitors and having no real Baron users and nothing that can answer like the Sin lineup is just, the game is practically over.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much as tough as coming back from 3 Infernal Drakes, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's tough, yeah.
I mean, speaking of the 3 Infernal Drake games, that's game 1. Dokka picked up Fiora in that first game, was trying to split push. Again, a kind of champion that has a timer on it where you get to 3, 4 items and suddenly you're able to, 1v5. What was the big difference for you for game 1 versus game 3 in terms of that ability to split push?
I think the critical difference is just the
3
first...
Infernal Drakes, no.
No, the first, I mean, that's, well, 1, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a change. But
Yeah.
no, the critical difference is that Juice was up in that lane very early and he ganks for Dokka. Dokka gets first blood, and then, after that, he bullies the lane a bit, he pressures Char, Maokai out, and we see Syndra roam up top and look to kill him again. And then from that, Dockler gets first turret gold solo. He gets to collect extra waves, and then he's actually sitting like a massive 2-level lead. So like for me, that was the first massive change.
Yeah, the second would just be the bot lane. Rogue even said it himself, he entered game 1. I wouldn't have put it as harshly. He definitely didn't have a stellar game 1, but then you come to game 2 and game 3 where their bot lane is doing what was expected of Sin, being their own thing. They don't really need the resources, but they're not going to fall behind. And when you're, like you said, the Toronto gets ahead, he gets the ganks, he starts snowballing on his own. You don't even need the rest of the team to do anything. You just let him do his thing. Just play passive on the other side. Like I said, disciplined play from them. They weren't engaging. They weren't doing silly things. And just let him carry the game.
Yeah, I think, one of the fantastic things they did was they split up that Xayah Rakan lane, and that proved to be a massive pain for them in the first game. So that they basically give Legacy the option, right? They pick Rakan, and they can let Legacy take away Xayah. If they don't, they get Xayah themselves. But, it's like a consolation prize of Kalista with Rakan is still a fantastic lane. And, they don't have to go up against that powerhouse duo. So bottom lane, especially into the Taric, is almost sort of neutralized, right? Like, it's a lot easier lane just for them to survive in, and for the Juice to be able to play around the top side of the map.
Yeah, I'd say kudos to Benzel. Just looking at the draft again, it feels like he just drafted extremely well. I'm sure you can...
We're getting to the era, is it Big Brain Benzel?
Big Brain Benzel.
Have we...
I'm a big fan of the
I'm
alliteration.
not taking it
Are
away.
we giving
No.
the Big Brain crown over or something now?
No,
Yeah, all right.
can't do
Big
it.
Brain Benzel. I'm calling it.
Because we went into this thinking, look, is this going to be the battle of the AD carries? Potentially, we've actually come up with a decisive big brain coach off the back end of it. Tegon, you're not keen to give
Am
away
I
the...
insulting myself? I'm not even in contention for this. I take it back. I've got the biggest... No, all right. No. Props to Benzel.
What a
Actually,
self-roast. What an absolute self-roast.
You only caught onto it after it had already happened too. It's all over.
Yeah, I definitely sometimes speak before I think.
All right, let's take a look at your
Gosh.
tweets that have been coming in on the hashtag #IamOPL. As you bring one up on your screen, we've been asking for your thoughts on summoner spells that can be added to the game. I want to see a summoner spell that steals gold. That's from
Yes.
Be Nice. You're a fan of it?
I will take it away from anyone trying to build Ardent Sensor.
Support player.
Wouldn't
Wouldn't you do
Support player wants gold. How surprising.
No, wouldn't the actual best thing to do would be to go run your AD carry the Relic Shield, take your GP10 runes, and then also have this summoner spell and just get your Ardent Sensor even quicker, right?
I feel
Surely.
like the whole game would devolve into 5 of this summoner spell just targeting one player. Everyone would just be peeling the gold off one person.
Is it on your own team or the enemy team? Because I would be like, anyone who picks Yasuo in my game or Master Yi in my game, I'd be
Yeah,
taking
it's
that
gotta be
summoner
the
spell and be
enemy
like,
team.
you know what?
You don't need
This
it.
is your fault. This is your fault. You've done this to yourself.
All right, we have a second tweet as well that is coming on hashtag #IamOPL. A new summoner spell that could make your champion be a mini Kale ult. Take no damage for 1 second. Any invulnerability?
Kind of like barrier.
Is that-
almost.
yeah,
I think
barrier?
it's just barrier.
I mean, it's a better barrier.
It's a
So-
nice barrier. What can damage you during barrier?
Everything.
It's just a
Everything.
shield.
It's just a shield, right? So you just it absorbs a bit of damage.
I mean, this just sounds like he's like a Cogmore player that's sick of getting blown up by Syndra or
Yeah, I was going to
Zed
say, it
or-
sounds like he doesn't like Syndra players.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do Twitter as hashtag #IamOPL or via Twitch chat. Let us know which summoner spells you would add to this game. That wraps up our first series. Sin proving too strong for Legacy, beating them 2-1. And we'll be back with your second series of the day as Abyss take on Regicide right after this.
Body bop, the ultimate does miss. Now Cupcake turns on the invulnerability just for loss. They take down FBI to kick
Here we
things
go.
off. Juice now trying to back out. Claire was already down here. Ryoma looking to scatter the weak, gets the double stun. Body bop from Juice. They will take down Cupcake. Good initiation from Rogue, but it's not going to be enough. Karma misses the ultimate, but they do lock down Ryoma. Good damage onto the mid lane himself. Rogue disengages. Juice is holding up 4 members of Legacy all by himself. And Donkler is trying his hardest to win this game by himself again. Deja vu. They're keeping Legacy inside this Baron
They
pit.
need
They
to
want
go.
to fight. They want the 4-on-5. Karma dies straight away. Cupcake's the next target as well. Big body bop coming out of Juice once again. Lost is stuck against the Baron pit wall, trying to fight his way out. Claire is on the backside, dealing as much damage as he can. But that's 3 members dead from Legacy. Big sunglasses are on. They're going for the fight. Invulnerability is about to wear off. They jump back on top of Dokla.
Lost just
Ryoma
isn't hitting anyone.
is out of mana, but Lost gets good damage to the Karma. Clay almost dies. The captain for Legacy has fallen, and there's only one Nexus turret left. Karma jumps back in. He wants to stop him from taking it down, but Ryoma just got the double kill, and Sin take down Legacy.
Carmen now Whilst everyone thinks, you get out of bed every day, you talk about video games, this must be the dream job. Like, what people don't understand is shoutcasting can be hard.
Don't expect this to be an easy journey. You will suck. Everyone sucks.
There is no gospel behind shoutcasting. You don't have to do anything.
This is just a starting point. The rest is up to you.